Hello and welcome back to Parkour DXB's home learning videos. This week we're going to be going through some rolls.
Okay, so in today's lesson, you're going to need a nice open space, so make sure you've moved anything out the way that you might roll into. You're also going to need something soft to roll on. This could be a rug or a carpet or perhaps even the quilt off your bed. We're also going to need to use a sofa or possibly your bed as well.
But first, let's start with the warm-up. Okay, so with the warm-up, the most important part of our body to warm up first is our neck. Now this is because when we're doing rolls, we need to put our neck to the side, on the floor, and it's going to be really horrible if we don't warm it up properly. So, ear to shoulder first of all. So all we're going to do is we'll have our hand beside us. I'm going to go ear to our shoulder. Nice. Okay, now I'm going to go chin to shoulder. So it's the exact same thing. Hands down by your side, shoulders here. Don't try too hard to go too far to the side. Just about finding your range. Nice. Okay, and now up and down. So with this one, we need to keep our jaw closed, so your teeth should be together. As we go up, we try and put the base of our skull on the back of our neck. This might extend your throat a little bit, so it might make you cough. And then as we come down, we're going to push our chin into our chest. So we're going to spend just a second at each extension. So here. And then you can just make small little waves, move it around a little bit, again side to side. Let's go onto the shoulders. So really, again, it's not about doing it fast at all. It's just about trying to really see how much range you have. And when I talk about range, I mean how far around you can get your shoulders. And then forwards. Good, we'll go elbows backwards and forwards. Arms backwards, make sure they're straight, make sure you're trying to sweep just past your ears. And then forwards. Nice, okay, so now feet apart a little bit more. I'm going to be looking behind us. And now release everything a little bit, pick the foot up as you go around, arms nice and wide. Okay, hands on your hips. Legs locked straight, make sure they're nice and locked. We go out to the side and big circles the whole way around. And then the other direction. Okay, lovely. So now we're going to go down to just a toe squat. So my heels are up and I'm just forward like this. All we're going to do, because we're going to be spending a lot of time down on the floor when we're doing rolls, so we're going to try and make this knee go around in circles here. So all we're doing is going round like this. It's a little bit of balance, so we're doing our ankles too. We're just trying to get our hips working to move around. And then the other leg. And the other way. Good, now we're going to go down to our heels, so we're in a full squat. And all we're going to do, this is one of our favorites actually, is just tap your knee down on the ground and back up. So let's tap your knee down, your heel should be up. What we don't want to do is we don't want to roll on the inside. We want to keep our heel up for now and back up. Nice. I want us to try both. So when we do this, knees go forwards, chest goes backwards, tap nice and gently. Now, hands go behind us. We're going to be in the crab position, and now we're rolling on the inside of our leg, tapping the inside of our knee down the ground. And then we come back to squat, over to our hands, in like a toe squat position, or maybe more like a cat crawl position. We go around our hand. Finally, a little bit of a stretch, and then lift yourself the whole way up, shake everything off, and we're done.
Okay, so now we're going to continue our warm-up with some rock switches. So this is a really great technique to start to begin some basic rolling technique, and we'll eventually move on to the shoulder roll that we'll move on to in another video. So we begin this one sitting on the floor, but we need one foot ever so slightly further forward than the other one knee up towards the ceiling and one knee sticking out to the side. Now we're gonna keep this kind of shifted balance of the body to roll down one side of your back. So use your hands slowly for the first couple of times and rock backwards and forwards on this one side. Start to really get a feeling of what it feels like to roll down your back. Now remember, as we're always doing in parkour, we're trying to avoid rolling on our spine. Okay, so once you've got the hang of doing it on that side, you're going to simply swap the legs and do exactly the same on the other side. So start slowly. It could feel super weird on the opposite side, but don't worry, it just means you're going to have to do a little bit more practice here. So take your time, pause the video if you need to, do a whole bunch of these. Now, once you get good on both sides, we can link them together, okay? So we roll back on one side, come forwards, swap the legs, back on the other side. So we're turning into like a little bit of a rocking horse or something going on here.
Rock and roll.
Nice. Now, there's actually a more difficult version of this that we can move on to. So make sure you're super comfortable with this one before you move on to this one. So this time it works exactly the same. Start on one side, you roll back, but this time we swap sides at the very back of the roll. So when we get all the way up onto our shoulder blades, up onto the top here, we swap the legs. So think of your legs as one being the pulling arm of a bow and arrow and one being forwards, okay? So as you're going back, you're pulling on one side, and then you get to the top and you swap which arm is the pulling arm and which arm is the one holding the bow and arrow, yeah? And we can keep going backwards and forwards again. Take your time, yeah? This is a good one to still make sure you've got nothing you're gonna bump into. Okay, take some time to practice this one and you'll be ready for the shoulder down roll.
Okay, so before we start on the rolls, let's just quickly talk about why we do rolls. So primarily the reason is because in parkour we're dealing with concrete surfaces, metal surfaces. Obviously in our academy we're dealing with the wooden obstacles as well. These are all quite hard. And while we do sometimes do rolls on soft things to learn them, the eventual point of them is that we can do them on hard surfaces when we've jumped. So often we do a parkour roll, and you've probably seen it in TV shows and films as well, when jumping off of something, not just that's high, but also that we're jumping down kind of out as well. Now, if you're to jump off something just high and you land straight down, you just take it all in with your legs and that's it. But if you're traveling forwards, when your feet connect with the ground, your body's gonna keep going. So at this point, you can either fall forwards or you can just do a roll. And the roll does two things here. It does what we call dissipates the impact. So it helps the impact kind of be moved out into forward momentum. And secondly, that forward momentum is really good for when you're doing a route. So Harry's going to quickly just do a parkour roll for you. Like so. And as you can see, he's using his shoulder. Let's do one more. Lovely. So he's using his shoulder, he's going a little bit diagonal, and we can actually see this a lot better if we use some tape. So, you can do this at home with us. We're going to get some tape, we put it down on the ground so the sticky side is up and the non-sticky side is down. And we're going to go towards the tape with our shoulder right at the beginning. And then you do this roll. What this does is it shows us what we call the soft tissue pathway. So the soft tissue is all the squidgy bits, okay? So all the squidgy bits here, the hard bits are your spine. You've got a couple of bones down here, which don't feel very good. And you've obviously got your shoulders up here, which don't feel very good. And you've got your head as well. We don't go on any of the hard parts, we want to go on the soft parts. So what Harry's done here is when he's rolled, he's gone from the soft part of his shoulder, down across the soft part of his back. He's skipped across his spine here where it dips, okay? And also because he's quite muscly, it dips down this way as well. It keeps going across the soft part the whole way down to here. Now some people's pathway might be a bit more from this part, it might go a little bit more down towards the lower back here. As long as you're going over the squidgy parts or the soft tissue pathway, then we're all good, okay? So let's show us a few more. Harry. There we go. It's probably best to try and stay on one shoulder if you're doing this, but you can do the other shoulder as well. Harry's very good, you see.